Hey y'all, it's Debbie from Haven Inspired Style. Just checking in. I know that there are a lot of misconceptions to self care. Treat yourself, girl. You deserve it. Give yourself a break. Pamper yourself. All of those things. We're going to bypass that and we're going to get down to the nitty gritty of what self care really is about. So stay tuned. So, some people may have the misconception that self care is just going to the spa, doing yoga, but the reality is self care is hard work, y'all. It is hard work. It isn't always fun. It's about being responsible for yourself and your actions, how you respond to situations, and taking ownership of those actions. Real self care, y'all, is about taking care and being aware of your mental, emotional, and physical needs. All right, so let's dive in, shall we? So, when it comes to self care, there's three things that you really want to make sure that you keep in mind. One, that self care takes effort, right? It's something that you have to consistently work on a day to day basis. The other area that is really most important is honesty. It takes honesty to figure out where you lack and being able to admit that. I think a lot of times people have difficulty trying to figure out what's going on or what's going on with them, why they can't like progress forward. And it's really because they're not being honest with themselves. So honesty is the best policy. Cheesy, but whatever. And then last but not least, it takes consistency. If you're not consistent, it will be very difficult to find a balance. Finding a balance between work life, home life, relationships, friendships, relationships with family members, all of those things. It's going to be very difficult to find a balance if you're not consistent in your self care. So just make sure to set time aside. If you're looking to do something daily, if you know that you're not going to do it daily, again, be honest with yourself and pick something to do weekly or pick something to do every other day. Gradually work your way towards it. Because if you're not honest with yourself and you're like, oh, I'm going to do this every day, and then you never do it, it defeats the purpose. So, with that being said, I think when it comes to self-care, a lot of people give advice as far as like what they should do, but not enough advice on how to do it. So I'm going to give you a few tips on, how to hold yourself accountable with self-care. Take some notes, boo, because you ain't going to remember. Okay. So the first area is evaluate yourself mainly through journaling. This is the way that I know, and the way that I've been doing. I've actually been working with a life coach, and this is like an exercise that she actually had me do. So when it comes to your evaluation, you can do this daily or weekly, or if you know that you're not going to do it that often, I get it. Monthly, however you want to like ease your way into it. But try this evaluation. One, taking into consideration what you value. When I say values, it's more so of a personality trait or characteristic or attribute. So just for example, some values would be acceptance, commitment, grace, loyalty, gratitude, self-expression, self-awareness, honesty, humor, strength, empathy, engagement, flexibility, love, freedom, fun, belonging, boldness, challenges, change, compassion, collaboration, generosity, forgiveness, growth. There's so many different areas, but we're not talking about value like, boo, I value my car, my home. Like, no. Strength, supportiveness, teamwork, trust. Those are the attributes and values that I'm talking about. So evaluate yourself and knowing what your exact values are, because then that's going to help you in figuring out personality traits, what works, what doesn't work, and then also too just helping you figure out like what your vices are. And you may be surprised yourself as far as like the list of values that you have. I'll post a list in the comments. So if you want to really, really dig into your values, I'll post that list and you can just take a look at that. And then also just let me know in the comments as well what your thoughts are and even post what your values are that you figured out about yourself. So first list out what your values are. So now the next question, and again, so these are things that you're going to be asking yourself, at the top of the month, your values shouldn't change. So the values most likely could stay the same. I mean, as you evolve, let me scratch that. Your values can change. As you evolve, things that were important to you before may not be important to you anymore, and you'll find new values. So that can be an evolving list. Next question is, what do you need? That's a very broad question, but this is not necessarily financial or a physical need. This is more so you're dealing with yourself mentally and spiritually. What do you need? Next question is, what do you want? Spiritually and mentally, what is it that you want? My need and my want was peace. I just wanted and needed peace so bad because there was just so many things just swirling at one time. So my answer to this question or these questions were peace and wisdom. Just being able to navigate life and make the correct and the right decisions. So wisdom was another thing that I was really looking for and needing. Where do you lack is the next question. And really be honest with yourself, personality-wise, spiritually-wise, mentally, where do you lack? List those out. Then you can go into what are your short-term and long-term goals for your mental and spiritual growth. What are my short-term and long-term goals for my spiritual and mental growth? List those out. How will I get there? And if you don't know initially, that's perfectly fine. Just put, I don't know. And then that means that you have to take the time to do some research and figure out what are the best ways to reach these goals that you're looking to reach. What support do I need and who is my support? List those people out. And even when you list them out, list next to their names how they have or how they are supporting you. If you put somebody's name down and you can't think of nothing of how they supporting you, then double check your list. Just saying. Next set of questions is something that you can ask yourself on a daily basis. And you can write it out. I don't write it out all the time, but you can definitely write it out. It's definitely something that you can write out on a daily basis. What do I need? And how did I override those needs this week or today? However you want to phrase it. What support do I need this week? Or this week, today, however you want to phrase that. How will meeting my needs help me stay aligned with my values? That's the real question right there. Because you really want to make sure that based off of how you listed of what you value, if everything that you listed underneath does not necessarily match those values, you need to A, reevaluate what those values are, or two, reevaluate, or A and two. A, reevaluate those values, or B, reevaluate what you're doing. Everything should be aligned. And most likely the first time you do this, it's not going to necessarily be 100% aligned, or it may, who knows. But this is definitely something that has helped me, and it's something that you should do consistently. I would revisit your values and your needs and your wants, most likely weekly or monthly. But you can do a good gauge as far as like what you're really going to do starting out. And then also where you lack as well, because that can change too. Maybe you've made improvements in one area and another area kind of went down. So it's just a matter of keeping yourself balanced. And then your short-term goals and your long-term goals will probably change here or there. But I think just doing this evaluation as frequently as you can will help you stay aligned as far as like what you need, what you want, where you lack, and where your support is. And it will also point out how you're dismissing those needs. I'm one to dismiss my needs a lot. So definitely this is going to help as far as like bringing those things into the forefront, which is going to lead me to my next area, which is to plan. When I say plan, I'm talking about like, okay, this is my week. This is my work week. These are the hours that I work. Where can I fit in self-care? Fit those things in. If it comes down to you having to put or set reminders for yourself, set those reminders. For me, I set reminders with positive affirmations. So like at random times during the day, and they're not random because I have it 3 times a day. So I believe it's 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and then like 4 p.m. And a lot of that is more so surrounding my workday because of the fact that you get frustrated, you get flustered, and having something go off 3 times a day, and you're going to be, on your phone, and you'll see on your phone a positive affirmation. That's something that's really quick and easy that you can do to help as far as like a daily or consistent way of self-care. Okay. The next area is know your vices, or know what you respond to. The easiest way for me to figure this out was using the 5 senses. So touch, smell, sound, sight, taste. And taking those things and really digging into what things in each area will help me in my self-care. Being strategic in your self-care is really what's going to help. So for touch, for me, I love just soft blankets and slippers and just comfy clothes and just, making sure that I'm comfortable within my home, because your home is your sanctuary, right? So just making sure that you're at your biggest comfort level. For me, touch, that's what that was. Also, like spas, massages. I'm an avid spa goer. Anybody that knows me, I stay at the spa. A part of my self-care was going to the spa once a month. Now, of course, because of COVID, that's not the easiest. So I create my own spa in my bathroom. I'll tell y'all about that. I'll tell you about that later. The next area, of course, smell. So the easiest thing here, flowers. I love, as you can see, my baby. I love flowers. So that would be smell. I actually have eucalyptus in my flowers too, which smells amazing and it's great for like soothing and relaxation. And also great to put in your shower too. So eucalyptus is something I love too. And also essential oils, incense, flowers, those are all great things for smell. With essential oils, if you're not quite sure like which essential oils to get, there are several different ones that you can get. And the ones that I use a lot are like lavender, lemongrass, jasmine, rosemary. There's like grapefruit scent, sandalwood, chamomile, peppermint. All of those different types of scents are great for like brightening your mood. So I am also an avid diffuser buyer, if that's a word. I have like one, two, three, four diffusers. Yeah, don't mind me. That's not including the ones at work. So incense, essential oils, and then again, smell flowers. I love the smell of flowers. Sound, you can go, there's so many things that you can do with sound, but of course, music, audiobooks, podcasts, meditation sounds, water. I also have a lot of water fountains. I digress. Positive affirmations. So of course, like if you listen to any type of podcast or any type of meditation podcast or anything along those lines, that's great. Playlists of concentration and productivity sounds are great. I've used those during work just with my headphones, and it just has like these really vivid sounds to help you concentrate. So definitely do that. And I think the playlist I just had on iTunes. So it's great. So sight, of course, reading. If you're an avid reader, again, positive affirmations. My t-shirt line is a part of that. Sight, if you're looking to have or see on a consistent basis, positive affirmations. But another thing, I have sticky notes up in my bathroom with my own positive affirmations that I've written down. I've also typed some up and printed them and framed them and have it sitting next to my bed. Also cite vision boards are great. I just did, a vision board recently. So those are all great things that you can use for sight. And then taste, of course, food. So of course, if, food is something that, if you feel like you're not having the best day, it's okay to treat yourself, with food. Now, after saying that, there are a few things that I want you to remember. Don't allow your self-care to evolve into self-harm, because indulgence masked in self-care can be dangerous. Make sure to gauge that and to monitor that, because that can also be another gateway to self-harm. Examples for that would be if you're going through your senses, you're like, touch is I'm going to think of some things for touch, and sex comes up, most likely would. Hey, neither here nor there. I feel you. But if that comes up, don't allow that to start as being self-care and let it evolve into self-harm, whether it be having a sex addiction. If that's something that you're struggling with, then sex shouldn't be a part of your self-care, okay? Also, again, with food. So like overeating, you don't want your self-care to start with food and then it evolved to overeating, and then you're gaining weight, and then now you're feeling bad about you gaining weight, and then it's just a domino effect. Alcohol, drugs, all of these things. Don't allow those and say, hey, I'm providing myself self-care, and now it's evolving to self-harm. So be careful. Definitely make sure to evaluate all of these things, and then let me know in the comments how it's going, because I know that this is not the easiest thing to address and to approach, and you really have to be ready to do so. You really have to be ready to give effort. You really have to be ready to be consistent, and you really have to be ready to be honest. Like if you're not ready to be honest with yourself, then this is going to be hard. I'm just going to be honest. It's honest. I'm just going to be honest. It's going to be hard if you're not willing to Put in the effort, be honest, and be consistent. So I hope this is all helpful for everyone and that you got something out of this video. Tell me what you think in the comments if you have additional ideas, and also make sure to hit the subscribe button and the little bell next to it for notifications. Talk to you all soon, and thank you so much.